Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the first week in March, March 1st through the 7th. And during that time, we have a waxing gibbous moon that we bring in from last week. And that's a time when we can be flexible and make adjustments to things that we've started during the new moon, little projects and things that we're working on, both inner and outer. We do have a full moon that comes in on the 3rd. And, full moons are a time of heightened emotions. You might feel overwhelmed and anxious or maybe a little snappy. You might have changes in your sleeping patterns. I know I certainly do. I really have trouble sleeping for not only the full moon day, but usually the day before and after as well. I'm just wired. I'm just wound up and full of energy. So it's a good time for us to release resentment and fear or to practice patience and calm if you do feel like you're getting hyped up during that full moon energy. So we then move into the waning gibbous energy right after the full moon. And that's definitely a calmer time of self reflection and rebirth. Good time to make positive changes and get rid of bad habits and negative thinking. So please keep all of those moon energies in mind, Scorpio, as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading, Scorpio, is that confidence is your key to success. All right, let's see what the Scorpio collective has going on. Something I fell over. Oh, a little shrink crystal here. Sorry, I'm bouncing my camera around. All right, let's give these cards a shuffle. And while I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week, Scorpio, is that you keep a spiritual journal. So a lot of times when we're learning things and we're growing and evolving spiritually, it's a good idea just to keep track of those things. For me, it's like if I learn an angel number, that if I'm encountering a number over and over, which for me, for the longest time, it has been fours, fours everywhere in all different orders. So I did have to go kind of see what all those different angel numbers for 44, 444. When you see, like for me, I could see 5 in a row. I do that a lot. So, I had to go look that information up. And instead of me trying to remember that all the time, I put it in my spiritual journal so that I can just kind of glance in there and see what that is. It could be an animal that you're encountering, that may be helping you on your path. All those little synchronistic things, dreams. It's a good thing to journal those dreams. But anyway, it's a good idea because later it's good to have that. You can look back, as you're growing spiritually, you can look back and say, oh, I remember when I first encountered this particular number was back then in what was my life, what was going on then in my life, and how has that changed and how have I grown? And I learned this spiritual lesson and applied that to my life. We're going to take that flyer there. And um or this dream, sometimes I'll write a dream down and I don't understand it at the time, but I come back 6 months or a year later and it's like the dream makes completely perfect sense because now I've lived through whatever that dream was trying to tell me, and it's like, oh, now I get it. So it's kind of like learning your own dream language as well. So anyway, I will stop babbling about it, but that is my fun weekly reminder, is that you keep a spiritual journal. So all right, Scorpio, let's get right into this reading. March 1st through the 7th. Confidence is your key to success. And your overall present energy right now is Ace of Swords, which is about an aha moment or a mental breakthrough. So there's been something going on for you where you're kind of having some eureka moment for you, which is nice. Those are fun to have, whatever situation that might be for you. Your current situation is also the Three of Swords. So some sort of broken heart. This is some sort of pain or hurt. This could be some where you've had an aha moment about something that has kind of just brought you some clarity to that moment. So, I know, of course, that's never a good idea to have to deal with heartbreak or sorrow or any kind of hurt or pain. But if it comes from some aha moment or some new information that came into you, it's kind of like better now than later, right? Sometimes it's good to rip that band-aid off, and know the truth about something so that you can see clearly about it. At the root of your situation is the Ace of Wands. So this is a big yes and a new passion. So what comes out of this is very interesting to get all of these aces and get a couple at once. That's a lot of energy going on. So new ideas, new passions, but also heartbreak. Something, this could be you're letting something go in order to make room for something else. So we'll see as these cards come out. In your recent past here is a Lover's card. For some of you, Scorpios, this might be about a breakup. This could be, something that you've learned some new information about uh, a partner, a spouse, or something that is a little heartbreaking, or some aha moment, or you might just be having struggles. I mean, listen, no relationship is perfect, and we all go through those times where I always say relationships are our biggest learning tool because that's the person the closest to us that mirrors things that we need to learn about ourselves. So it could be really frustrating sometimes. And sometimes these truthful things come out and it's not really that fun. And let's see as your reading goes on, but sometimes you just have to work through things, right? What's on your mind this week? Well, on your mind is that you want to be happy. So confidence is your key to success, of course, is your overall, happiness is on your mind. So it looks like you want to get through whatever this is and you do want to work on things and get back to a place where you can be happy. So, if it is some sort of heartbreak or something that you're going through, you just have to open up those lines of communication. I mean, swords are about air, which is it's not only thoughts, but it is about talking communication. So try to talk that out if you can, whatever is going on with you there. All right, what is just ahead of you this week is the Nine of Cups. So, the Nine of Cups is a little self indulgent, right? And a little happy with ourselves. So, maybe you are kind of happy that you're working through this, and that's good to be. Don't get too super confident. Just make sure that if you come up with some plan to work on something that you're working on, try to stick to it. Um, don't be like, oh well, okay, we got through that and now everything's great. I mean, if something like this, whatever this is that's going on, if it's going to happen again, you kind of want to prevent that. And it's usually it's communication, right? In a relationship, just make sure you're keeping those lines of communication open and don't get too self-satisfied until you've maybe you're going to communicate in a better way, and let's maybe save some of the self-satisfaction until you've done that for a month, not just a day, right? um Anyway, all right. In your advice position, Queen of Pentacles. So definitely, understand things about the material world, and the thing I'm thinking of is, was this some sort of fight about money? Maybe. And again, communicate. Just keep communicating. Queen of Pentacles is just that, is understand how the material world works, how money works. And if it's something where you and your partner are not quite on the page when it comes to financial things or material things, or just you have to communicate. You have to sit down and communicate those things and just be very, very open and honest about things. So work on that a little bit. What is beyond your control this week is the High Priestess. So that is about using your intuition, and it is a card of mystery. It's things that come to us in the night. And like I said about keeping a dream journal, it could be a dream that comes to you. Maybe you had a dream about this entire situation, or a dream about the solution to this situation. And this dream could have been months ago. So just it's beyond your control to really kind of trust you into your intuition a little bit this week. And so pay attention. That's what also these eureka moments that come in and these passion moments that come in can really be enhanced and brought on actually by your intuition. All right, what is your secret desire? What are you trying to avoid? Well, I hope your secret desire is coming together in partnership with this Two of Cups. So I hope it's your secret desire. It looks like you want to be happy in the end. I'm just going to keep reiterating, Scorpio, you really need to communicate through this. Just communicate. You can work all these things out. What is your outcome position here? Is the Eight of Cups. So look at you venturing off into the future with these cups. I call these like the cups of support behind your back, but this is a very emotional week for you. Look at all the cups in this reading. A little bit of sword energy there with some communication. And I only see one passion card coming in here, but it's just a very emotional week. Again, be confident. And if you do need to sit down and communicate, and it could just be about money. So make sure you're communicating things very, very well. What is hidden from you this week, Scorpio, is the Two of Wands, which is kind of thinking about the future and moving ahead. I don't think that's um you're not thinking that far into the future. I think you're trying to resolve this particular situation, and then you may be exploring a little into the future, but you're not concrete thing making decisions or anything this week about that. But I will say, when I talk about repeating numbers, we do have a two, actually three. So look up angel number 222 and see if that has any bearing on whatever's going on in your life right now, Scorpio, which I always like to say tarot is a template. This could be about a relationship, but this could also be about a work partnership. This could be about a friendship, something that's going on. But it looks like there's been some sort of miscommunication. It does seem to be emotional, passionate, and it does seem to be about money and something you maybe saw coming with your intuition. So just my quick little recap there. All right, a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Scorpio. And be open to love. So be open. I mean, you've got all these cups in this reading. Be open to love and also be open to an apology and to communicating better. Don't be so right that's hard to do. Make that easy for the person, whatever person you're dealing with here, make it easy for them to apologize and to communicate well. So, all right, Scorpio, for your self-care this week, as all this is going on, what you need to do with your self-care for Scorpio this week, and it is the card with another 2. I will point that out. Lots of 2s going on here. You might want to look up 2222 as an angel number also. Anyway, this is the card called Reassess. You have the right to change your mind. Interesting. Reassess. Be open to love. Confidence is your key to success. I'm going to say, Scorpio, you do need to communicate. Whatever's going on here, you do need to reassess some things, but be open to communication. Do look up that angel number with all the 2s, either 3 2s or 4 2s. Read those messages and see if they have any bearing on what's going on for you this week. So, Scorpio, I wish you the best of luck with this. I hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know what's going on with you guys. How did this reading template over whatever's going on in your life? I'd be very curious to hear about that. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see if this energy continues or if there's something completely new here for you next week. So thanks so much, Scorpio, for being here. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.